Hello, welcome to my video. My name is Erin. You can call me woman.wol. This video we will be talking about, do black girls lives matter, black women, black children, female children, babies, girls, like just black women in general. Do black women lives matter? This topic is very important to me because I myself am a black woman. And I find myself lately, just with like everything that's going on now, like just questioning, like, do black lives matter? Like, not only do black lives matter, but do black females lives matter? I feel like, yes, we know, like, black people are at a disadvantage compared to the other nationalities in the United States. Um, there's like facts that's been proven that we're just automatically just like at the bottom of the totem pole, how we're viewed, how we're looked at, pay scale compared to like the average white person, Asian, or whatever nationality you want to like go towards. If you're not like black or African American, like there's going to be a disproportion, and with that this within that disproportion, there's like female and male, obviously, in a black community. Like, if you're not a female, you're a male, so like that goes hand in hand. But regardless of that, like within like our black community, there's females and there's males, and I believe that females are treated at a disadvantage, like unequal pay. I myself know for a fact that I'm paid at a disadvantage. And like a lot of the things, like, I'll get to that later. That's not like a talking point that I'll discuss right now, but later in a video for sure. It's just like what's going on like lately. I feel like in healthcare, like black women are not taking it serious. If I were to go and complain that I have chest pains or something's wrong with me, and if a white woman was to go into and complain about the same things, we would be treated different. And all of this is like, you can look into this. There's hella evidence that like alludes to this. Um, there's cases and studies, like black women aren't taken serious when they go into the hospitals and they complain about like health. Like, I feel like if the hospitals knew anything, they would know that black people wait to the very last second to go to the hospitals. Like, so if we're going to the hospital telling you X, Y, and Z is wrong with us, you should listen to us, because that means like we're at our wits end. I know me personally, like, I'm not trying to go to the hospital. I'll try to natural remedy it. I'll Google something for me to like feel better. But like, I know like when I'm not able to help myself and something's like beyond my realm and my scope of fixing, and I do know like when I need to get help. But like, if my foot's cut off, obviously I'm going to the hospital. But if it's just like a little scratch, I'm just like, I don't know. Do I need stitches? Do I not need stitches? Like, I really don't like want to go to the hospital. So I know that I'm not the only person that does that. I don't want to speak for all black people either. I don't know all black people. I don't know all black people in America. So it's just like, I just know from like my experiences, things I have seen, things going on in the media and the news lately, now that I found myself questioning a lot lately, does black lives matter, especially black female lives matter? Do black girls matter? Do black girls matter? That is the question of this topic and conversation. So ask yourself that, like, does black girls matter? Like, there's like, I heard this testimony. It was like people like speaking to, it's kind of similar to like if somebody was to go to testify in front of a parole board and just talk. Like, they were just talking in front of different like people to try to get this bill not like repealed, for the Affordable Health Care Act. It was like a host of people like going in front of Congress, I guess it would be, to speak on their situations and give their experience of how they benefited from that situation and whatnot. And this black male, he was like talking about his wife. They had two beautiful, beautiful kids. And his wife passed away from complications of giving birth with the second kid. And if the staff at the hospital would have taken like her bleeding serious, she wouldn't have passed away. They told the husband for like 12 hours, like, she's just not our priority. She's not our priority to get to, like, she's bleeding to death. Like, what, when would she be a priority? Like, right now, surviving R. Kelly is very, very, very popular right now. It just aired last Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and people have been in an uproar about that. I watched it. I don't want to speak on that right now. If you want me to make a separate video about like my opinions on R. Kelly, I can do that. And I can do that about the whole situation. But I just want to speak briefly about that, because what I found out, and that is just like, what will it take for us to value like a black woman? Like, we do so much, like we bear so much burdens, like we go to bat for our black men, and sometimes they don't go to bat for us, but that's fine. We still do what we do. Like, you don't really see like too many black people black women dating out of their nationality as much as you see like black men dating out of our like nationality. It's just like, I feel like I wish that black men can hold us to the same standard that we hold them, and uplift them uplift us how we uplift them. But circling back to what I was going to say about R. Kelly's video, I feel like he is a monster and a menace to society, and especially to our young black girls and our black young youth like growing up, because I'm just not under this assumption he's messing with little girls. I think he's like fucking men too. Like, don't correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's a fact. I'm not saying like he's molesting little boys, but I do think he's having a relationship with men as well as like molesting little girls. But I'm saying all of that is because like I'm 27. For like 20 plus years, I've been hearing like this about R. Kelly, and it's just like, why does it take a 6-part docu-series for us to take it serious and to value black women's lives? It's because we value R. Kelly over valuing these young black girls. Like, he married Aaliyah when she was 15. They met when she was 12, and he was 27. Well, he was 27 when they married, but even still, like, that's frightening to me. One, that was the sign. Two, the video came out. Granted, we all know it was him, like, and he got off. So since he got off, people were like, oh, he didn't do it. But people watched that video. They watched him like sucking and fucking on a little girl and fucking peeing on her and doing all of that type of weird shit. So it's just like, that was like 20 years ago. So like, what is it going to take for us to value like the lives of black women? That's all I'm going to say about R. Kelly. So it's just like, that's multiple instances that I gave you so far since me talking about like black women being treated at a disadvantage. Like, I can even circle back to what I was going to discuss earlier. At my workplace, I'm not going to say where I work, but just know that I've been with a financial institution for 4 years. Like, maybe in the first 2 years, I moved up like 3 positions, like really fast, but it was all within the same department. I have not had any success with posting out. I have a role where I train people, so I've trained multiple people. I trained so many people within the last 3.5, 4 years. And like, anybody I train, like, they get out of the department like this, like, and why am I having so hard of a time getting out of my department? It's just like, I have the experience. I'm training people, and people's only been there for 6 months. After they train up under me, they're interviewing and they're getting the jobs. Like, my mother's a job coach. I know how to interview. I know how to conduct myself. I know how to speak in a professional setting. So it's just like, I truly feel like I'm being at a disadvantage. Not only am I not able to post out, I'm being paid like unfair, like, compared to like the rest of my associates. I know this for a fact because one of the girls, she happens to like she became like one of my really good friends. Like, I could even consider her like a best friend of mine. Like when she came, she moved up pretty fast. Like I trained her, then eventually she like took on my role because they opened up like the rec and they hired like um basically she became like the same role as me, the training role. But with that being said, is they offer her like 4 times as much money as they offered me to take the position, and it's just like, why? And she's a white woman, so that's what I'm getting to. It's just like, so I've been here at this time like twice, 3 times as longer as her. She's only been in like, or man, well, I don't want to say what I did, like, or sat for maybe like, she probably came over in September. In February, she got the same job as me, and in July, she left and posted out and like got a new job. So like, do that math, do that timeline. She came over in September. I assisted her, helped train her. She got my position that I got in now. She got paid 4 or 5 times as much money as I did. She stayed in a position for 5 months. Mind you, we have a policy that you have to work at least a year within a position before you can post out. So not only did she not have that position for a year, she moved up like 3 times in 1 year, then left. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just like, I'm happy. Like I don't feel any malice in my heart towards her. I want her to like go and climb the career ladder and do what's best for her and do what's best for her career. But as a black woman, I was pissed off because it's just like, why don't you see my work? Why don't you see my value? Like, so I'm at the point, like, if I pulled up this spreadsheet since July to today is what, January 8th, I applied to more than like 60, 70 recs and nothing. Like, I interviewed a lot. I had a lot of phone interviews and I don't get anywhere. And it's just like, it's just like a disadvantage. Like the people that I train, I haven't trained any like black females. Like, so it's just like I can't compare another black girl's success to my success because like since I started I haven't had to train a lot of like black women. Like, yeah, they just now started to hire a lot of like black girls, young black girls at my job and stuff. But even still, none of them are like posting out or like, I think everybody's just content. So I haven't talked with a black woman that's like ready to post out and been having a similar struggle to like what I've been having. But it's been a very frustrating experience to like be a trainer, to like know the job thoroughly. Like I know it like in my sleep, and like just to be felt like I'm handicapped in a job and I can't see, but there's no like, you know what I mean? I can't move up, like, and I know I'm doing everything like I can do. Like, it's just a very frustrating like experience. So I want to know like if any of you have any like similar experiences, or if you can like feel what I'm saying. Do you feel like the lives of like black girls matter? Am I wrong? Am I just feeling a certain way? I would curious to know like other people's thoughts and like their interpretations and their opinions on everything I'm saying. Now, when I wanted to do this video initially, I wanted to have like some facts written down and to like have a PowerPoint, like if you look to my left, XYZ and all of that stuff. But like I just wanted to sit here right now while I was on my computer and just like speak from my heart. I do feel like black women aren't valued. Like we're not valued. We're not. There's like so many like instances. Like it's sad, you know. It's like it's yeah, it's sad. Like we're at a disadvantage in pay. I don't even want to like Okay, here's a good example. Like another example for pay and me just talking about my job and my experience as a black woman working in corporate America for one of the like top 5 banks in like the country. That I took this position, this training position that I'm referring to, and I probably got like a $2,600 like pay increase to take this job. Now, this job is like incentive based as well. So you do, well, it used to be incentive based as well. So you have the opportunity at the end of each month to get an additional amount of money. Contingent on me taking this position, like I haven't made any like incentive money since like May of 2017. Like I made some, but not really. I do like a lot of things like for my job, and like I'm undermanned, not appreciated, and it just sucks. So yeah, I took this job. I got a $2,600 pay raise. Like now, knowing what I know now, like I wouldn't have accepted that because I didn't know what a salary of an analyst was supposed to make. So like that had initially brought me up to like $29,000. Wasn't shit. So I found out that this position that I work, you're supposed to make anywhere between 34 and $48,000. So you do the math. So right there, that imagine I told you with the $2,600, I got brought up to making like $29,000. So like imagine what I was making before, and that's after like a few like raises and like pay increases. So like right off the door, like I fucking came in the door, and I was like underpaid. So yeah, so we went through like this whole little debacle a couple of months ago where they decided to like do away with our incentive, well, our monthly incentive, and move to like an average, well, an annual incentive, and like it changed like a lot of things at my job. So um, with us getting like, well, getting changed from monthly to annual incentive, they had to like up people's pay and get people used to going without having monthly incentive to having nothing. So I'm not one of them people that went from having like, okay, so I'm jumping forward. So anyhow, with that, they're supposed to bring people up to standard pay of like industry and like bank wide of which you're supposed to get paid at your position. So I got, obviously, obviously, I had to get bumped up because I've been drastically underpaid. Again, I'm getting paid 29,000, and this position's supposed to be making between 34 and 48,000. Like that's a big like leeway. So like they brought me up to like 37, which still isn't shit. And with so here's how it is. So they took away incentive, monthly incentive. So some people are eligible now for transitional payments, which is like considered like a quarterly bonus for incentive for the year of 2019 until you receive the incentive bonus in 2020. So for 2019's incentive bonus, the annual bonus, you won't receive that until 2020. So this whole year of 2019, I won't receive any money because I wasn't one of the people that were um, was eligible to receive the monthly, I'm sorry, the quarterly transitional payments. With that said, so I'm just thinking about a lot of things that I've been going through since I like took this position. So now I feel like I'm venting about just being like underpaid and everything that I have to go through, and it's getting away from what I started the video for. But it is true. Like black women are paid out at like lower than other people, like lower than other black men. Because I work with like a couple of black males, and when I first started they like made like way more money than me, and I'm like, how do you make that money? Like how much? Like wow. And it's just like I just wish I knew more when I first started, because I feel like I like lowballed myself. So I do want to like stress that, like, know where you're applying to, know the gross salary of what the individuals in this, that department makes and how much money you should be making, know your worth, know your education, and know your resume in and out. You should know the qualifications and what you bring to the table, and you don't have to accept something just because it's been offered to you. If you can't walk away from a negotiation, you're just creating the terms of your own slavery. Like that's the best way that I can phrase that. Um, but yeah, I do feel like black women are definitely treated at a disadvantage. We're not taken serious. Like it's like it's crazy. Like our lives aren't like valued. Like I just start thinking about even like a few weeks ago, I watched that documentary on HBO that came out about Sandra Bland, and like, granted, I can give another video my thoughts about that video too. What I really thought about it, it was okay. It was nice that they brought like attention to the situation, and she hasn't been forgotten, and it's been some years since it's passed, and we're still talking about it, and they're still advocating for it. But how that video was edited and put out, it made it seem like they didn't kill her, like the police department in Texas, I believe it was, like didn't kill her, and it was just like negligence. The police officer lied about the log that he filled out, that he checked on her, and he didn't. So it's just like her life wasn't valued. Like as a black woman, they didn't take her serious. They didn't care enough to acknowledge her and to check on her and to make sure she was okay. And it was just like there was like several like factors and pieces of information that they mentioned. They said like in the past she has like thought about like committing suicide or something crazy like that. And it's just like, if you know that somebody's been prone to suicide or thinking about killing herself or wanting to harm themselves or others, you would check on them. As your due diligence as an officer, when somebody's in your custody or detained, you have an obligation to check on them. You're more than just a police officer. Like you're supposed to make sure somebody's like good, and that wasn't done with her. So like again, I can do another like in-depth video on how I feel about that situation, the Sandra Bland situation, in that documentary, like exclusively. But like I do want to see, like I do recommend everybody to watch that, and it's just going to point out everything that I'm advising to and bringing up all of my qualms and concerns and reservations about like being a black woman and how black women's lives are undervalued. Like I do believe that if there was a white woman in custody, it would, or if there was a white, first of all, I wouldn't have even gotten that far if it was a white woman. Like, I'm going to talk about the documentary. It was crazy, like watching her get pulled over, like the reason why she got pulled over, how crazy like the police officer was being with her. Like, to be honest, like he'd have probably killed me before I went like got to the fucking precinct, because it's just like my mouth is like too slick, and it's just like I don't really like police officers. Like, I'm not gonna say I don't like them, but like some of them, like they take their position like too powerful. Like you clock in your job just like I clock into mine. Like you take your job way too fucking serious. Like just obey the laws, make sure I'm obeying the laws, and that's it. But they like to take that badge and like act like it's like the end all be all. But it's just like you do have to clock out and be a regular citizen and Samaritan. Like after you get off, like your life can be like just like mine. But it's just like if a white woman would have got pulled over, it wouldn't have escalated that quickly. She wouldn't have got off the car. She wouldn't have been slammed. Like hearing her cry, like she got out of like when he was like arresting her, and after he pulled her out of the car and all of that stuff, she got out of the frame of the web, not webcam, but the camera that they have on the dashboard cam, they got out of like the ways that like you couldn't really see it, but you can hear it. You can hear her screaming, "Ouch, that hurts," and let go of me, and X, Y, and Z, and it's just sucked because it's just like if that was a white woman, would that had even got that far? Would that had even escalated that quickly? He's telling her to put out her cigarette and do X, Y, Z. First of all, motherfucker, this is my car. I'll smoke this shit down to the bud if I want to. Like, you can't tell me to fucking put out my cigarette. Like, certain shit is just like police be like on our high horse with shit. So it's just like that's definitely a video you should watch in reference to like black women like being treated unfairly. Um, Maybe I'll make this a recurring segment. I am interested to hear you guys' thoughts and opinions on this matter. Please let me know what you think. Sorry if the camera quality is horrible. I'm literally just doing this off the webcam on my computer. It's kind of late and dark right now, so I wasn't expecting like the best quality with doing this video. Um, okay, if I knew how to do the screen record, I would do that. Like I was texting, and I paused the video to like regroup my thoughts and to think of something, and it made me Google "Do Black Girls Lives Matter?" I did like a few internet searches, and I found this really good article. It's a Black Girls Matter report. I'll link all of that stuff like in a description of like where I found this link. But just right off the bat, this is the preface. Listen, like this is just going to give examples. This is going to solidify my video. It might make me just redo it because I have facts. So like, bear with me. In 2014, a 12-year-old girl faced expulsion and criminal charges after writing "Hi" on a locker room wall on her Georgia middle school, and a Detroit honor student was suspended for her entire senior year for accidentally bringing a pocket knife to a football game. In 2013, an 8-year-old girl in Illinois was arrested for acting out. A 16-year-old girl in Alabama who suffers from diabetes, asthma, and sleep apnea was hit with a book by her teacher after she fell asleep in class. The student was later arrested and hospitalized due to injuries she sustained in her interaction with the police. Also in 2013, a 16-year-old in Florida was arrested for when an experiment she tried on school grounds caused a small explosion. And a 12-year-old girl was threatened with expulsion from an Orlando private school unless she changed the look of her natural hair. In 2007, a 6-year-old girl was arrested in a Florida classroom for having a tantrum. Later that year, a 16-year-old girl was arrested in a California school for dropping cake on the floor and failing to pick it up to a school officer's satisfaction. Does that sound crazy to you? Sounds crazy to me. In each of these scenarios and in others across the country, African American girls were on the receiving end of punitive zero tolerance policies that subjected them to violence, arrest, suspension, and or expulsion. It is well established in the research literature and by educational advocates that there is a link between the use of punitive disciplinary measures and subsequent patterns of criminal supervision and incarceration. Commonly understood as the school to prison pipeline, this framework highlights the ways that punitive school policies lead to low achievement, system involvement, and negative outcomes. Efforts to reverse the consequences of this pipeline have typically foregrounded boys of color, especially black boys who are suspended or expelled more than any other group. As the case outlines above demonstrate, punitive disciplinary policies also negatively impact black girls and other girls of color. Yet much of the existing research literature excludes girls from the analysis, leading many stakeholders to infer that girls of colors are not at risk. Okay, and I want to stop there because it was talking about pipeline, the school to prison pipeline. A few summers ago, I worked with It's called Freedom School. If you're not familiar with it, please Google it. It's it starts like years and years ago. It was started back in the civil rights era, and it continued to today. What they do is it just encourages childhood literacy. Sorry, it just promotes childhood literacy. Like it's a after based not an after school program. It's a 8 week long summer camp program that's geared to promoting like literacy and reading. It's like to crack down the pipeline. Like I believe that's like right with the and their mission statement is like it's to crack down that pipeline to encourage childhood literacy, to read, to know that knowledge is in books. You can do and become anything you want to be just by reading books. Books will take you to a different imagine, like different, like it'll make you imagine. It'll take you to like a place where you didn't even know like life existed or things you can do is possible through reading. Like when I literally read, it takes me to a different place. Like it makes me like I there's knowledge, so much knowledge in reading, like so much knowledge in reading. Like when people tell me like that they don't like to read, it's just like you just haven't found what you like to read. Like you can never read too much, learn too much, know too much. How are you like gathering information if you're not reading? How are you like elevating yourself? How are you like educating yourself if you're not reading? Like you can never know enough, you can never know it all. So if you're not reading, how are you elevating? How are you growing yourself? How are you like pushing yourself forward? How are you like um shit, I need to read more. Like reading more, it'll allow you to express yourself. You may read something and you're not sure of what the word is. It makes you look up the word and learn a different word. Like reading is like there's so much power in reading, and like it makes me scream that black people don't like read as much as like we should. And I'm not even saying like all black people, but it's just like even my boyfriend, he always be like, I don't like to read. It's just like your fucking girlfriend is a writer. Like, what do you mean you don't like to read? Like, so that means you don't read my things. He doesn't read my things, yeah. So it's just like there's read. It'll make you know and knowledgeable of like the things this video is talking about. Do Black Girls' Lives matter? Give me your opinion. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Again, this is my first video. Like that, hit that bell. What do people say? Hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. That's what they say. And please comment your thoughts on the video. If I didn't cover anything or if you was thinking something as I was saying this video, please put your comments below. I'm definitely curious on your opinion on like this video and what do you think of black lives, black female lives? Do you think they matter? Or am I tripping? Or is it just the things I've experienced in my life? Um, just let me know. Again, thank you for watching. There's going to be more videos. Just so you know, there will be like a lot of conversations like this, not necessarily like a black about black people, but about things that matter, that should be matter, or things that's underlooked or underserved. So it's just like I'll be making a lot of those videos. There will be a lot of story time videos, a lot of tag videos and haul videos and collab videos. So please look out. I have tons and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of lifestyle like hacks and like just I have tons of content that I'm going to be pushing out to you guys all 2019. If you have any more like topics you want me to cover or to discuss, please comment below. If you're curious on my opinion on anything or how I feel about something, please comment below. If you didn't like the video, that's fine. Please comment to let me know what I can do to improve in the future. Like um, happy 2019, you guys. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.